Welcome to your 2-minute quick brief of the Tech Radar for Parents. I'm your host, Weston, brought to you by Nicholas D. West Tech, LLC. It's the week of July 20th, 2026, and for once I get to open with real good news. 2 major platforms shipped actual parental controls this week. The bad news? The business of putting your kid on camera is finally being exposed for who's really watching. And the ugly? The FBI just told us out loud that sextortion cases are climbing. Let's go! On Monday, July 21st, 2 platforms did something they should have done years ago, on the same day. Twitch launched parental controls, and here's what they actually do. You can stop your teen from going live. You can shut off whispers, which are Twitch's private direct messages. You can set a daily time limit, and you can hide whole categories of content, like gambling and mature-rated games. You also get a weekly email summarizing what channels they watched and for how long. That same day, Meta announced parental supervision for Threads through its Family Center. Daily time visibility, time limits, blocked hours, sleep mode from 10 at night to 7 in the morning. Now, I have to be straight with you about the catch, because it's a big one. Both of these are opt-in, and on Twitch, the teen is the one who initiates the link, and either of you can unlink at any time. So this is not a safety net that appears by itself. It's a tool that only exists if you and your kids sit down together and switch it on. And on the culture side, there's a lovely little trend running right now called not very nonchalant, where kids deliberately drop the too cool to care mask and film themselves being openly, embarrassingly excited about something. After 2 years of performed detachment, watching teenagers give themselves permission to be enthusiastic again is a genuinely good sign. Now the uncomfortable one, and this one is aimed at us, the parents, not the kids. There's a whole economy built on putting children on camera. Family vlogs, kid influencer accounts, the day in the life of my 7-year-old content. This week, journalist Fortessa Latifi, who spent years on this beat and just published a book on it, put the core problem in one blunt sentence. The audience for child-centered content, she said, ranges from everyday moms to disparaging commenters to pedophiles. And that's not one reporter's hunch. A New York Times investigation analyzed 2.1 million Instagram posts, monitored months of chats among self-professed pedophiles, and interviewed over 100 people. Their conclusion? The audiences for these accounts are dominated by adult men, many of whom openly admit sexual attraction to children. Here's the part that matters even if your kid isn't an influencer. The mechanism is the same on your own account. Public photos of your children, in swimsuits, in leotards, at the pool, are being collected by people you will never see and never hear from. States are finally moving on this. Tennessee's Child Influencer Protection Law took effect July 1st, adding trust fund requirements and giving the child the right to sue later. But the law only covers the monetized stuff. Your own public feed is still entirely on you. This is the one I need you to hear all the way through. On Thursday, July 23rd, FBI Detroit went public about an uptick in child predator arrests and a continuing rise in sextortion cases. Assistant Special Agent in Charge Marty D'Amico described how it works. Children are extorted for photos, then threatened. The predator says they'll expose them online or expose them to their family, and then squeezed for payment through gift cards, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, or crypto. To be precise with you, because precision matters here, rising arrest numbers partly reflect that law enforcement is getting better at catching these people, and D'Amico says so himself. But the scale is real. The National Center for Missing and Exploited Children received an average of 137 reports of financial sextortion per day in 2025, a 37% jump over the year before. Those are reports received, not confirmed cases, but the direction is unmistakable. And here is the single most useful thing I can give you today. Lieutenant Andrew Boatman, who commands the Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force in Knoxville, was asked to name the biggest red flag in a child's online communications. His answer? when someone tries to move the conversation off the platform. A contact on Roblox who wants to switch to WhatsApp, to a texting app, to a phone number. That pivot, off the monitored platform onto something harder to track, is the tell. Not the game, not the app, the move. Now, I owe you some honesty on this segment. There was no genuinely new viral slang this week. The dictionaries that claim otherwise are recycling terms from the spring. So instead, I'm giving you the 5 codes that actually connect to what we just talked about. These are the ones worth knowing. Number 1, GNOC. It stands for Get Naked on Camera. There is no innocent version of this. It is a direct request for an explicit image, and it usually arrives from someone your child has never met in person. Number 2, LMIRL. Let's meet in real life. An online-only contact pushing toward an in-person meeting. Paired with secrecy, this is one of the clearest escalation signals there is. Number 3, WTTP. Want to trade pictures? The word trade is doing deliberate work here. It reframes an exploitative request as something mutual and fair, which is exactly what makes it effective on a 13-year-old. Number 4, KPC, POS, and CD9. Keeping parents clueless, parent over shoulder, and code 9, which also means a parent is nearby. These are surveillance awareness codes. On their own, they're often just kids being kids. In a private chat with an adult, they mean something very different. Number 5, 764. This one you need to know by name. It's a numeric tag for a violent online network that deliberately targets children on platforms like Roblox and Discord, coercing them into self-harm and producing abuse material. One of its leaders pleaded guilty to child exploitation charges in 2025, and the network is still active. If you ever see that number in your child's messages, that is a call the authorities moment, not a ground them moment. And one important caveat on all of this, borrowed from the attorney who compiled these. Use this as a conversation starter, not a checklist to catch your kid out. Seeing a term once in a meme is not the same as a repeated pattern in private messages with an adult. Here is your action plan for this week. 1. Turn on the new controls together this weekend. On Twitch, open account settings and find Family Center, then enable parental controls. Remember your teen has to initiate the link, so this is a 2-person job. For Threads, go to familycenter.meta.com/supervision. Do it side by side, not behind their back. And know the ceiling. Neither tool lets you read messages, and both can be unlinked. These are guardrails, not surveillance, and they work best when your kid knows they exist. 2. Set the off-platform rule tonight. Say this out loud and make it a standing family rule. If anyone you met in a game or an app asks to move the conversation to WhatsApp, Discord, Snapchat, a texting app, or a phone number, the answer is no, and you tell me. Not because the other app is evil, but because the request itself is the warning sign. This one rule is the highest value sentence in this whole episode. 3. Take shame off the table before anything happens. Sextortion runs entirely on a child's terror of being humiliated. So preempt it. Tell them in plain words, if someone ever traps you with a photo, you will never, ever be in trouble for telling me. I will be on your side the whole way. Add the practical part. Don't pay, don't send more, screenshot everything, block, and report to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children's cyber tip line. And tell them the newer twist. With AI nudify apps, a kid can be targeted with fake images having sent absolutely nothing. So, I didn't do anything wrong is true, and it's still worth telling you. 4. Audit your own feed, not just theirs. This week's Kidfluencer reporting points straight back at us. Go through your own public posts of your children, swim meets, gymnastics, bath time throwbacks, and lock down or delete what a stranger could collect. If your kid has any monetized presence, look up your state's child influencer law. Then ask your teen the real question. If you could earn money posting about your life, what would you not be willing to show? Here's the through line this week. The platforms finally handed you a few real switches, and every one of them requires your kids' cooperation to work. That's not a bug, it's the whole job. The controls you flip on together will always outperform the ones you install in secret, because the thing that actually protects a child is not a setting. It's the certainty that they can come to you with the worst thing that's ever happened to them and still be safe. Flip the switches, have the conversation, take shame off the table. The algorithms are relentless, and they do not love your children. You do. That difference is everything. For our full-length deep dives into every topic we covered today, check out our main feed. I'm your host, Weston, with Nicholas D. West Tech, LLC. Stay vigilant, stay informed, and we will see you next week.